All right, let's take a look at our warm-up. You got this do you understand question up here. How can you write and solve equations involving rational numbers? But I don't want you to answer this. I just want you to think about it. Well, what are rational numbers? Rational numbers are numbers that can be written as a fraction or as a decimal. So these are rational numbers. So, I mean, how do we solve these? In the sense, like, how do we solve 10 equals m plus 2? We minus the 2 and minus the 2 and get m by itself, right? Well, how do we solve a problem like this? Does this process change? Or do we still just do inverse operation? We see subtraction, we add. So just thinking about that question that we have kind of up in the corner here, does our process change or is it still the same thing? We're going to get rid of these 24.44 because they're opposites. So our t still is here. We didn't destroy or get rid of that. Our equal sign is still here. We just got to add up these decimals. Now, adding decimals or rational numbers, as it's written up there, that's what we did in our first unit of the year. So to add decimals, we just got to line up the decimals and just add through each place value. So 7 plus 5 is 12. 1 plus 2 plus 4 is 7. Bring that decimal down. 3 plus 4 is another 7, and 1 plus 2 is 3. There's your answer. Now, these answers aren't as clean as like 8 plus 2 equals 10. Like, you can do that in your head. Are you going to be able to do in your head 37.72 plus 20 or minus 24.45? It's not as user-friendly, and that's why just understanding the process and how to write it allows us to get to these solutions that may not be the prettiest solutions, but they're right, okay? So same thing over here. We've got r divided by 5.5. So how do you get rid of that? We multiply. We do the opposite of divide, and we multiply by 5.5. Okay, we're going to have a new equation. Let's get that out of the way. All right, if we're multiplying, we know that these 5.5s, this multiply and divide, are going to cancel each other out. So I'm just going to get r, right? Over here, how do you multiply decimals? You multiply each place value, and then at the end, we're going to count our decimal place values and say, there's one here and there's one there. So at the end, we're going to move a total of 2 place values. 1 plus 1 gets me 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. Carry that 1. 5 times 4 is 40 plus that, or 5 times 8 is 40 plus that 1, so we're at 41. 5 times 1 is 5 plus that 4, we're at 9. Then I go to my next place value, I add a 0. 5 times 2 is 10. And then, 10, so I put a 0 and carry the 1. 5 times 8 is 40. We're at the same thing. We're at 41. We carry another 4. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus that 4, we're at 9. So we add these up. 0 plus 0. 1 plus 0. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. Remember that 2 place value? So we're going to move our answer 1, 2, and that is our final answer. Sorry, this is an ugly 0. It's not an 8. So our final answer is R equals 100.1. I don't really need this 0 to hold a place value. If you wrote it down, you're fine, but you don't really need to write it down. All right? Good work.